back a little bit. Right after everyone in the Land of Taroc rebuilt and rested along with other soul families, Lady Ashley, Lord Germaine, Lord Gary, and Lady Kayla sensed another attack would take place in the land, and they all knew that it would be a battle like no other, and it would affect their children the most and their townspeople. The land was so big that they started planning long before the time arrived for this battle, because it would be too many to move right at the time for battle. They created another land for their family to live on the outside Land of Taroc. It was still in the Land of Taroc, but all of the guardians of Taroc used their magic to cover their families so that no one can ever find them, enter where they were, or suspect that there were two sets of their family. They created duplicates to take over the responsibilities and roles of their children temporarily, or until they neutralized the threat, and they used Aries as bait to draw out.
I have your offspring, and now I will have my revenge.
Their enemy during battle, not realizing that there would be a possibility of death. The real Emperor Aries, the original, is still alive and well, but now the Guardians will have to explain this to their townspeople. But for now, they are more concerned with everyone's safety, including their children. And it just means that this temporary situation will need to be more of a permanent thing until they get another update from Archangel Michael. Until then, they will grieve their loss in front of the land and enjoy their family time behind closed doors. After the family grieved the loss of Aries in front of the entire land, they were now coming up with a plan to live their lives as if he were dead, even though he was still alive. They wanted to keep him dead in front of the world for as long as possible to keep their lives peaceful. Lady Ashley and Lord Germaine already knew that Lucifer and Lilith would somehow realize that Aries was bait because their senses are so high. The staff and hermit family decided to send a duplicate of themselves to their children in the outside area of the Land of Taroc, where their children are currently living. Emperor Aries and Empress Sag was asked to migrate a little further before the war began.
You must stay a bit longer, I'm afraid. It's taking more time for our plan to come together. I've been instructed to ask you to migrate a bit further as well.
Sag and Aries did as they were instructed. Duplicates of them were created to deceive citizens in the town in order for the plan to work before the spiritual battle began. The original guardian leaders, the hermits and star family, will reside in the Land of Taroc with their duplicate children to run the land. They sent their duplicates to be with their children in the outside Land of Taroc, but will still be able to feel everything and know everything as if they were really there. They all agreed that their families were much safer on the outside for now than the town itself. They headed out and they all joined their family. Aries and Sag were a little further away, so the duplicates of Lord Germaine and Lady Ashley joined them, their original children, and Lord Gary and Lady Kayla joined the rest of the family. When Germaine and Ashley joined Aries and Sag, they knew immediately that there was something different. Looked like they came just in time because they sensed that they would be grandparents, and their senses was right. Ashley and Germaine were so excited to know that Aries and Sag was going to have a baby. But Lady Ashley got a vision. She saw 3 baby girls. Not only was Sag pregnant, but she was pregnant with 3 girls. Sag passed out when she realized she was going to have 3 at one time. It was easier knowing that she would be having 1 child, but 3 was altogether different. They weren't prepared for 3, but they had time to plan. It was still very early in the game. The Star and Hermit family were very excited about having their family extended, and they took turns visiting their other children while visiting each family in between. Empress Sage lost a lot of energy during her pregnancy, so Lady Ashley and Lady Kayla performed more duties than usual to keep the household in order for Sage and Aries. They decided to prepare a meal for the entire family to have together, since it had been that long since they had all come together like this. Lady Kayla is very intuitive, especially when it comes to her girls, and she noticed that they all looked a bit more sluggish than usual, and she also noticed they all had been resting more. Lady Ashley mentions to Lady Kayla,
"Is it mating season? I believe they all may be expecting and maybe even at the same time."
I believe you are correct.
The entire family gathered around the table. For some reason, April, Venus, June, and August all said at the same time.
We are expecting.
The grandparents high-fived each other and hugged each of their children and congratulated them all with warmth and excitement. That night was truly worth celebrating. For the first time, everyone truly felt like everything would go well. But in the underworld, Lucifer and Lilith was coming up with a plan to get back at their former classmates for having victory over them twice. When they got their time from Spirit, they knew then that Aries wasn't dead because they weren't serving time for his death. But their punishment is to guard the underworld, and if any of them get loose that are behind bars, their sentence would be even longer. They are plotting to get someone else to do their dirty work from the underworld, so their former classmates won't see it coming. While all this is happening, Lady Ashley said,
"I would be honored in naming the girls."
and of course, Aries and Sage liked the idea of that. She asked if she could name the girls.
Tatiana Meredith and Ayana Star are the names I've chosen for them.
They absolutely loved the names, and they agreed to those names for their girls. They all hugged with excitement. The next morning, it was Lady Kayla that noticed that Venus was a bit bigger than her other sisters, with the exception of Sage in their pregnancies. Lady Kayla asked Lady Ashley,
"You mind taking a look at Venus for me to see what she's having? I suspect she's carrying more than 1 child."
Sure, no problem.
Venus, congratulations. You are pregnant with 3 too.
Venus was also pregnant with 3, but with boys. They all went in celebrating all other again, except King Uranus.
Wow. I can't believe this.
Tell me about it, and the way Uranus hit the ground like that was even more shocking.
After Uranus came too, he embraced his wife with joy, and they all began preparing and planning for 2 more babies. After the dust settled, Lord Germaine was beginning to sense that something may happen to his family. He and Lady Ashley both knew how well Lucifer and Lilith knew the law in the sacred Land of Hearts. They all worked for the system, and they know that the crime and the time they will serve in the underworld will not include the death of Aries, and at some point they will still come after their family. All the grandparents came together to protect their future grandchildren with a white spell, and they won't worry their children yet, especially during the time of their pregnancies. It could cause more stress and sometimes an early pregnancy. Venus was already swelling a bit more than usual and was asked to stay off her feet as much as possible. All of the hermit sisters were due near the same time, and every last one of them were pregnant with more than one child. Every time they thought they had everything almost planned out, the plan changed. Lady Kayla and Lady Ashley made outfits for their grandchildren. And of course, all the girls helped before the births of their children. No one knew the day or the hour that the babies would be born, so everyone was on high alert on what to do in case they all go into labor at the same time. Even though there was a plan in place, they all knew that things could change at any time. Lady Kayla asked.
May I have the honor of naming my grandsons?
Uranus and Venus both agreed.
Yes. Yes. We would love that.
I would like for my grandboys' names to be Chris, Kendall, and Courtney.
They absolutely loved those names for their boys, and they agreed.
Ma, those are beautiful names. I love them. What do you think, honey?
The names are fitting. I love them too.
They all agreed and embraced each other in a hug. Lord Germaine decided he would spend the week with King Pluto and Queen June and help them prepare for their twins. They recently found out that they would be having a girl and a boy, and since Lord Germaine was there, he asked,
May I have the honor of naming your twins?
Yes, we would be honored if you did.
They happily agreed.
I would like to name the boy Calvin and the girl Lena.
Pluto and June agreed to the names.
Dad, those names are beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
This made Lord Germaine the happiest man alive. While he was there, he helped build a nursery for them temporarily, while they were still living on the outside area of the Land of Taroc. This will be their vacation home away from home, and after the babies were born and old enough, the plan is to return to full-time duties in the Land of Taroc. But for now, they were making their vacation home their home. All of the brothers, Aries, Uranus, Taurus, Leo, and Pluto, got together with Lord Gary to build cribs for all the babies, and also decorated all the rooms in all the homes so that the women could rest a bit and give them a bit of a break. Lord Germaine realized that it would be better for the women to play a different role in preparing for the arrival of the babies, and that the men would do most of the physical work in preparation to keep stress levels down. And all of the women happily agreed to the terms. The women made all of the clothes in different sizes and diapers in different sizes, since their weight and heights are unknown right now. Everything that could ever be thought of in the preparation of the babies were done as quickly as possible. While all the planning was going on for the Star and Hermit family, Lucifer was coming up with a plan himself. He sent a spy from the underworld to go to check on the Land of Taroc and to see what was happening there and report back. He was the kind of spy that could transform into anything and very hard to catch. His nickname was Hawkeye because he could see everything from anywhere and he could move around without anyone ever noticing he was there. Hawkeye agreed only with one condition: on spying on the Star and Hermit family. He was in a thirst for power.
Can you guarantee me their powers? I want more, preferably from higher level beings.
Lucifer agreed.
I can guarantee you that. And anything else that you need if you give me what I need.
Lord Gary went to check on King Taurus and Queen April. They looked worn out by the time he arrived. He came to help in whatever way they needed, outside of everything that they all were working on together. And they truly appreciated him taking the time to come by and offer an extra set of hands. Lord Gary helped build a nice chest and dresser with Taurus out back. While April prepared lunch and dinner, they all sat on the back porch, and Taurus and April asked Lord Gary,
Would you name our twins?
I'm very honored to be asked.
This time, the family asked instead of Lord Gary asking. He already had names in mind, and he said,
I would like for their names to be Alicia and Elliot Starr.
They happily agreed and thought the names were fitting.
Thank you, Dad.
Those names are beautiful.
They finished their lunch and continued working. Lord Gary and King Taurus worked well up into dinner to finish making the dresser and chest. Everyone had decided on having their meal together, so they all met at Taurus and April's home and helped finish off the meal as a group as they were enjoying their meal together as a family in the outside area of Land of Taroc. Hawkeye had entered the land as if he were a messenger bird. The real Lord, Germaine, Gary, Lady Ashley and Kayla were there, and they all sensed something dark in their land, but they couldn't quite tell exactly what it was and where it was coming from, but they expected something would be lurking. Not long after Lucifer and Lilith discovered that Aries wasn't dead, but to the entire land he was, because they were consciously aware of a dark force. They never spoke of Aries being alive, only dead, to throw off whatever spy they all sensed in the land. Hawkeye reported to Lucifer that
Everything appeared on the surface as if Aries was deceased. The way that everyone grieved in the town made me believe that he truly was. But I will need to investigate more.
because they are higher level beings, Hawkeye could tell they sensed his presence. Everyone decided to go to Leo and August's home for lunch to relax after a long day of building and sewing. A lot got accomplished that day. They built or began to build on a mini hospital so they all could deliver in a location equipped to deliver a baby. Lady Ashley would teleport from the outside land to the Land of Taroc to get supplies for the deliveries of the babies and get messages to report back to everyone that there appeared to be suspicious activity. Lady Ashley reported back to Lord Germaine, Lord Gary, and Lady Kayla.
I think we may have some intruders hiding in plain sight in the Land of Taroc.
The next time, if there is a next time, there will be an investigation done by me to see what and who is trying or attempting to cause chaos in the land. But until then, let's make this home away from home a while longer to keep everyone safe.
I totally agree.
We agree too?
We agree too.
Yeah.
Lord Germaine was already thinking of a plan. Once everyone settled and had lunch, the family asked if Leo and August had names for their twins yet. They responded,
No.
Do you all have any suggestions?
Yeah, what about Les and Leslie?
Nah. I got it. Leon and Diane.
I think Linnea and Lenny would be good names.
It does have a bit of a ring to it, huh?
Shay and Tay would be simple names.
They don't just want simple, I think they want something with meaning, honey.
What about Sheldon and Shelley?
No, I like Rick and Rachel.
Liz would be good for a girl's name.
Lanny would be good for a boy's name.
I got it! I got it, Dion!
No, Dana!
After everyone got done throwing out names, Leo and August came up with the names on their own for their twins.
Dennis and Denise.
Will be the names for our twins.
Everyone happily agreed with that.
Congratulations.
Thank you!
While everyone had agreed on the name of Leo and August's twins,
I can use a favor.
What is it?
Lilith sent in one of her spies along with Hawkeye to see what they both discovered. Her spy was a child from a former lover that would probably die for her. His name is Herman. Herman was similar to Hawkeye and could transform and track anything too. They went on their way together, Herman and Hawkeye, to the Land of Taroc for more investigation.
Whatever you two are up to can't be good.
Because he knows their capabilities, and they are also his siblings, and he knows they are up to something. Delivery time was drawing near for all the Hermit sisters. As time got closer to their due date, Lady Ashley was taking more trips into town to get everything they needed with a lot of discretion from the townsmen and any outside forces. She noticed that she was being followed or tracked. She made herself invisible and began tracking the tracker. The tracker was Herman, unknown to Lady Ashley at this time.
Keep an eye on him and see what he's up to and who sent him.
Be very discreet.
He only saw the essence of Lady Ashley anyway because her full physical body was at home in the Land of Taroc, but she got the message something was happening and was on high alert. Archangel Michael was the only one that knew that the real Hermit and Star family were living in the outside part of the Land of Taroc with the essence of Lord Germaine, Lady Ashley, Lord Gary, and Lady Kayla, with the real guardians in the Land of Taroc. There was a forest field built around the family living in the outside part of the Land of Taroc for their protection. Archangel Michael was the only one that knew the way in and out of the portal outside of the Guardians, and he came with a message and a warning of what he learned about Lucifer and Lilith, or what he suspected was happening. He spoke with the essence of Lord Germaine, and he said to him,
Lucifer and Lilith are serving their time in the underworld.
But they know they aren't serving time for the death of Aries.
They have a long sentence to serve, but they have minions they are working with, or at least I suspect it because I saw visitors meet them in the underworld.
Hawkeye can transform into anything, and so can Herman.
Herman is Lilith's demon child she had from a previous failed assignment before coming after you all. I had hoped that after being sentenced to do time in the underworld that it would change both of their ways, but that hope died long ago.
Lilith was assigned to the underworld several times for her disobedience and rebellious attitude. He admitted to Lord Germaine that
Lucifer and Lilith are my younger siblings, and I did what I could to help them stay the course.
But they are too far gone in darkness for me to help them now.
What? Are you serious? No one ever told us that you all were siblings.
I don't know if I should share this with Ariel right now. Her reaction will most definitely be different from mine.
And how is it that Lilith has a child? I hope you plan to tell Ariel sooner than later.
But she won't understand the secrecy or the information being withheld purposely.
Archangel Michael then left and spoke.
I'll take the heat. It was a reason for it, and you will all know why soon enough.
I will tell Ariel. It should come from me.
She's really not gonna like the idea of me knowing and not telling her. She won't understand.
Everything I have shared with you is what I suspect, and I will investigate to find out more. I have a strong feeling that my dear brother and sister aren't who we think they are. Their essence smells different, but when I find out more, I'll alert you. Until then, protect your family.
That won't be a problem. Thank you.
The Star and Hermit family prepared for delivery. They were all at the hospital they built and completed together. They each had a room together, and there was a grandparent with each family. Lady Ashley and Lady Kayla stayed in the room with Aries, Sag, Uranus, and Venus, Taurus, April, Pluto, June. Leo and August shared one big room, with Lord Germaine and Lord Gary helping with delivery. It would appear that all the Hermit sisters' water broke at the same time, and that they were all having contractions. It was no way that they would be able to deliver all those babies at once without another set of hands. Lord Germaine called for help.
Archangel Michael, we can use a hand here.
Archangel Michael came and he brought along Chloe. They all delivered at the same time. The Star and Hermit grandparents went from 0 to 12 grandchildren overnight. The delivery was long, but so worth it.
This is the hard part, Germaine. Protecting them, raising them, and teaching them everything they will need to know to be successful adults.
I agree.
A few weeks have passed since the grandchildren have been born, so the grandparents decided they would give their children a day to really rest and take some time off before they really have to do some work with the children. Lady Ashley and Lady Kayla got 3 girls apiece. Lady Ashley noticed that one of the grand girls weren't just any ordinary child. She noticed that they were transporting, or at least one of them were, to different areas in the house. And one caused the ground to move, and one burned her. Once she realized all 3 had powers, she was sure they all did. Lady Kayla noticed they had powers too. They both realized that they would have to start training them as soon as they were old enough in how to use their gifts. They both wondered if the white spell they wrote on their children affected how strong the grandchildren's gifts were at such an early age. Some of their gifts were unknown and could not be seen yet, but they all had them, including all of the boys. Lord Germaine and Lord Gary ran over as quickly as they could as soon as they discovered it, because one of them got burned as they tried to change their diapers.
Guys, we have a problem.
The grandparents knew this was going to be a difficult task, and that it would be even harder if their children had to handle such powerful kids on their own, so they decided collectively to wait until they were at least 3 years old to begin training them on how to use their gifts so they could protect themselves in case trouble finds them, and also to bind their powers until they were old enough to wield them so they would not accidentally hurt their parents or themselves. They asked permission from the parents, of course, because they should be aware of their children's gifts. And of course, they agreed.
Do what you think is best.
Yeah, you've made sound decisions for us before.
They are only 3 weeks old.
Well, what could they have shown you this soon?
One transported out of the room and out of my arms. Should I go on?
You can't be serious.
Did we even know how to use powers that young?
No, not at all.
We had to tell you about them and explain what it meant to have them.
So why do you think they are using theirs much younger than we did?
It's as if their powers are stronger than ours.
Possible. We did a white spell when you all were carrying to protect you and the babies, and it may have given them more power.
I'm good. I mean, we are good with you binding their powers.
We don't want them to hurt themselves or us by mistake.
And they all agreed. All of the grandchildren were a handful together and separately, but they all were very smart and had a memory of an elephant. And because of that, Lady Ashley
The
started
shoe, a
teaching them
concept,
how
the
to
service,
remember things
of read
in
the
repetition
tuning,
the
of
minute
pattern
they could talk.
recognition.
And Lord Gary taught them how to meditate
Focus on your breath.
and sit still as long as
Inhale
possible.
deeply.
They were known as Grandma and Poor Pops to the grandchildren, and Lady Kayla and Lord Germaine were known as Granny and Grandpa, even though they all looked as if they haven't aged a day in their life. As each year went by, they learned a little more from their grandparents and their parents, but mostly were grouped to learn from each of them in groups of 3 until they learned from each, and by the time they were 3 years old, their powers were returned to them all, and they had control because of everything they learned from their parents and grandparents. Lady Ashley decided to teach them a white spell they could use any time they were in trouble. One short and sweet, and it went like this.
Grandma, Grandpa, send your light as quick as you can. Protect your soul and cover your spirit.
Spirit, as you deliver us from a place unknown to a place that no one knows as home.
If they were ever in real trouble, they could send themselves home with that spell. As time went on in the Land of Taroc, Herman and Hawkeye soon discovered that the family in the Land of Taroc portraying as the Star family weren't real. They discovered this because they tried attacking Pluto from behind, and he disappeared as if he never existed, which made them want to find out where the real family was. They had been watching and planning for years to attack, and when they finally did, it revealed they were watching Ghost.
Who have we been watching all this time?
The Star grandchildren had now come until their full power and was now 5 years old. Even though they had full control of their powers, they weren't eager to use them unless they were forced to, and they never really had a reason to, and that was a concern for Lady Ashley. She often wondered if they would really attack when there was a real need to, but she had faith that they would know what to do when the time came, if ever a time existed. In the Land of Taroc, Herman and Hawkeye watched every move the Star family made to figure out where they may be hiding, because they both realized they were watching Ghost. They even had a few of their demon friends and associates on the lookout, because they all wanted to have the powers this family possessed. Lady Ashley knew it would be risky teleporting in and out of the land, because she knew the family was being watched, but their supplies were getting low, and she was the fastest and quickest at moving in and out, but not this particular day. Hawkeye saw both versions of her and followed one, while Herman followed the other one. It happened quick, but Hawkeye found the real family and started putting a plan together. When he did find the family, he had no idea that the family grew so much and so big in the last 5 years, and decided he would get greedy and try to absorb all their powers if they all had them. He went back and shared what he had learned about the family.
We will infiltrate the celestial realms, disrupt their ethereal defenses, and claim the divine essence that fuels their power. This is our moment!
And he also shared that the environment is heavily protected, and it's not easy to get in or out of without the family allowing you to. He almost didn't get in, because Lady Ashley is so fast, and she doesn't teleport often, and the home has a forest field barrier around it that no one can see with a human eye.
The grandchildren will have to be lured out if we want our plan to succeed.
Hawkeye and Herman's plan was to lure the children in a trap that they could not escape or re-enter back into. A forest field that was built to protect them, their essence, their parents' essence, and steal their powers, their grandparents' powers, to gain more power, which was pretty ambitious to try on such powerful beings, but it was their goal nevertheless. Hawkeye and Herman did what anyone would do to get kids' attention. They created a fake carnival with toys and games on the outside of the forest field, that only the kids would see. Hawkeye stayed in that forest field a while, observing the kids' activities and what they liked to do, how many there were, and what the adults did while they played. Plus, it took him a minute to find a way out, so he studied them before he left. So he knew that this would be the bait to draw them in, or in this case, draw them out. All of the kids were playing outside and they noticed the carnival going on. And of course they are curious. They are curious like their parents and grandparents, so they run to see what's going on. They never saw anything quite like it, and because they were the only family there, and no one knew of their existence, their parents weren't really paying attention or concerned
And it's really about making those healthy food.
about anything happening to them
Should we
until
call the
they were
kids in to
called
eat?
in for lunch, and no one responded and no one could be found. The parents panicked, but the grandparents remember everything they taught them and hoped they would utilize their skills and knowledge when the time called for it. The grandparents then decided to enhance their children's powers to make them even stronger, more powerful, and invincible. They built a form of transportation to get in and out of the forest field as a group, so they could return as a group. Lady Ashley had her suspicions about their disappearance, and now she will return to the Land of Taroc while the parents look, and she looks from her home. She has now returned to the Land of Taroc, while the parents look for the grandchildren, and Lady Kayla joins her along with Lord Germaine and Lord Gary that are working their magic from the Land of Taroc as well, keeping in contact telepathically with their children. All of the star grandchildren were enjoying themselves, and then they realized how late it was getting, and they no longer could see where home was, and began trying to find it. They didn't realize how far away they had gotten from home, and they noticed that everything they enjoyed that day disappeared suddenly right in front of them. They began to huddle closer together and held hands so they could stay together. Hawkeye, Herman, and all their minions gathered around the grandchildren and put them in a box big enough to carry them all, with holes around it, similar to jail, and took them to their hideout. The children were in that box, and they thought about what Grandma Ashley told them to say out loud if they were lost and wanted to return home. They all recited.
Grandma, Grandpa, send your light as quick as you can. Unknown to a place called home.
They all magically disappeared to their home in the Land of Taroc with their grandparents. When they saw their grandparents and arrived where they were all so happy to see each other and embraced each other. But Ayana asked,
Where is this place? It's not the home I remember, and where are our parents?
Tatiana replied,
It's beautiful here, and I wouldn't mind this being my home.
Granny Kayla replied,
This is your true home. The home you know is a temporary home to protect us during an uncertain time. But you return to your real home.
Grandpa Germaine asked.
What happened? What led you all to use a spell to come home?
Calvin explained.
We were taken and captured and lured somehow from some not-so-good people.
Lady Ashley suggested.
Let's use their essence, or part of their essence, to send them back. It's possible we can capture who lured them in the first place.
Lord Germaine, Lady Kayla, Lord Gary and Lady Ashley all agreed to keep the real grandchildren safe in the Land of Taroc with the essence of their parents. And their real parents were tracking the dark forces behind the children's disappearance, while having their parents believe the dark forces still had them. The grandparents sent their essence back with their grandchildren with a white spell increasing their ability, so if they needed to defend themselves, they could with stronger abilities. The star grandchildren returned to the box that appeared to look like a jail with their essence and all of their full powers, along with their grandparents' essence, as if they never left that box. Lady Ashley attached a tracking device on them before they left to find them in case they kept moving, so that their parents would be able to meet up with them. Lord Germaine telepathically sent a message to Aries.
We were able to track the grandchildren, and we know the directions in which they are heading.
Aries replied,
Thank you, Dad. You're welcome, son. Love you, be safe, and protect our family.
Lord Germaine never revealed to Aries that the actual kids were safe at home already, because he wanted their plan to be executed perfectly. The parents were pretty hot on their trail, but very discreet in how they moved. They all wanted to move in without being heard or seen. The chariots the grandchildren were being pulled along in finally came to a complete stop.
Wow, look at this place. I've never seen anything like it. Look at this place. It's so different. I've never seen anything like it. Wow, look at this place. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like this before. Me neither.
I've never seen anything like this.
It's so far.
It was suddenly very dark and gloomy and didn't appear to be any life force there. It was dark, like the dark forces surrounding them. Hawkeye approached them, trying to scare them, but little did he know the powers they all possessed. He watched them and observed them, but he never really saw them use powers full out, because they didn't want to potentially hurt each other, but those holding a potential threat against them could possibly cause injury or even death to themselves if they were to attempt to hurt them in any way. The parents watched and observed the children's body language, and they could tell they had no fear.
Are those our kids?
Which made Aries wonder if they were the real children, but it didn't matter. They were all there to protect them, but little did they know how much real skills their children had. The minute Herman reached at Chris to throw a fireball at him, Chris burned him with his fire and froze him. When Hawkeye saw the power he possessed, he called on reinforcements. It was so many of them, but it didn't scare the grandchildren. Chris and Tatiana have the same gifts and put their powers together like yin and yang, destroying one at a time and using their swords to trap the dark forces they defeat inside. Their swords are smaller but hold the same strength as the adult-sized swords. Meredith used her wand, and so did Courtney, to move from place to place, allowing the dark forces to come together so they would be trapped in the swords. Kendall and Ayana were both the seers and could transport, but it was limited to only how far they could see. If they weren't able to see what was on the other side, they couldn't do it. Their powers will get stronger with time. Alicia, Elior, Calvin, Lena, Dennis, and Denise used their powers of earth, water, and fire on the dark forces to hold them in place until they could be entered into the swords, but they were multiplying in numbers, and it began to be too much for the grandchildren to fight alone, and all of their parents joined into the fight. To help them, Aries took out his sword and captured many dark forces, but their supplies were getting low. Sag used her swords and her magician power to capture the dark forces. Uranus pulled out his sword of truth, and the dark forces he was up against replied,
I will destroy you. Use your power and take all of your family's gifts as well.
Uranus captured the dark forces, but was haunted by its words. Pluto, Venus, Leo, June, August and April used their gifts to freeze, burn, and bury some of the dark forces, but they kept multiplying. Taurus built a huge ground covering over them.
Everyone move in and take shelter. Don't know how much time I can stall.
And capture these dark forces.
We need a plan, quick.
Yeah. They are multiplying at a rapid rate.
As they were discussing their plan, Lady Ashley and Lord Germaine flew in on Black Stag, and Lady Kayla and Lord Gary teleported there from the Land of Taroc. The grandparents came prepared in their suit of armor and shield, with extra supplies after they witnessed what was happening. They were hoping to stay out of this fight. It was a bit much for their family that doesn't fight regularly. It's something that the grandparents were all so used to. The grandparents joined the fight when they saw how many dark forces kept arising. The essence of the grandparents was left in the Land of Taroc with the real grandchildren, but the real grandparents joined the fight. They decided to do the formation plan that was put into action, that they all practiced as an emergency, one that no one really wanted to ever do. The grandparents stood out front, making a letter V in their suit of armor and shield. They also carried several bows with arrows, ready to light up and burn any potential threat. The parents stood behind their parents with their bows and arrows, along with their swords, in V-shape formation. The 12 grandchildren stood behind their parents in a bigger V-shape to cover the front, the side, and the middle, and also the back, with the two strongest grandchildren in the back, Tatiana and Chris. They possess all 4 elemental powers to cover everyone. Once they were all in formation, Lady Ashley removed the earth barrier Taurus created and charged towards the dark forces while looking for the main source of what caused this fight in the first place, which was Herman and Hawkeye.
They are wiping us out left and right.
Yeah, we should go get help.
Lord Germaine used his violet flame to transmute a lot of the negative energy in the air to positive. Herman and Hawkeye returned to Lucifer and Lilith with information they withheld for their own selfish gain.
We were in over our heads with your former classmates and was hoping you could help us.
Your former classmates have grandchildren and children with powers as strong as theirs and ours.
Lucifer and Lilith left them both to hang themselves.
Your services are no longer needed. We will do things our own way from now on.
Had you let us in on your plans at the beginning, you probably would have executed it.
This new information
Changes everything.
And now the family has more to lose back on the battlefield. The transmutation caused a lot of the dark forces to flee or be captured in the swords. Once the dark forces are captured and placed in the swords, they serve time in spiritual jail for their crimes. Everything was quieting down, and the grandparents decided to finish this fight with the few dark forces that were left on the battlefield and give their family time to catch their breath and catch up, but that was short-lived. Herman and Hawkeye decided that they would take their chances and attempt to overthrow the family After they saw how tired they were, Lord Germaine charged as hard as he could at Herman and replied,
I know who you are, and who your mother is, and where you came from, and I am not afraid to rip you to pieces.
He took his shield to him and captured him in his sword. Lord Germaine preferred Hawkeye serve time in spiritual jail and see his time in court, and to make him suffer with his mother rather than let him off easy. Lady Ashley went after Hawkeye while the rest of the family finished the fight on the battlefield. Each and every one pulled out the swords and captured all the dark forces left on the battlefield into their swords. Hawkeye tried to turn into any and everything he could think of to lose Lady Ashley on his trail. She has eyes like a hawk too, and nothing gets past her. She finally caught up to him and hit him as hard as she could with her shield and knocked him out cold. She captured him with her sword and returned to her family. They gathered up all the swords that were used to capture all the dark forces and called Archangel Michael to come and get them so that they would see their day in spiritual court. He gathered them with a few other angels and were on their way. Before he left, he said,
Thank you all for everything you did out here today. I will keep you informed if anything comes up unusual. Try to relax and enjoy your time together.
The Star and Hermit family defeated Herman and Hawkeye and the rest of the dark forces. But for how long? And was it really over? Are the questions they all really wanted to know. The families realize that they have won this battle, but when will the war end? They have spent years from a home that took years to build, had a family, and hid. Lord Germaine suggested,
Let's come out of hiding.
We should. We are powerful beings and can take on anything.
We just proved that on the battlefield today, and came together effortlessly, as if we had been doing this a while. We have, of course, but not our children and grandchildren. But you could never tell that based on how we all fought today.
Lady Ashley said,
We are powerful and we didn't come into this world to hide. We are a powerful nation, and we must stand together as one, with no fear, and help each other.
Lord Gary replied,
It is almost as if we were living our lives in darkness, like the dark forces targeting us because we kept our lives hidden from the very land we worked hard to build.
Lady Kayla felt the same way.
I thought it several times and thought I was the only one who felt that way and never shared it. But now glad to know that you all are thinking the same things.
Aries replied,
We have deceived the land in having them believe I was dead, to now find out that I am very much alive. How do you think our land would receive what we did?
Sag replied,
With forgiveness in their hearts, and a joy to celebrate your life and not your death.
The grandchildren were very excited to go to the place that is their true home, the Land of Taroc. From what they saw, it's very beautiful there, and plenty of activities and other children in the land to play with and get to know. They loved each other, but they wanted to know what it was like to interact with people outside of their family. They hurried to the place they called home and prepared for their true home. As the grandchildren packed and prepared to leave, they began thinking of all the beautiful memories they shared and all the jokes they played on each other at each other's homes, and began to tear up. Lady Ashley walked in as all of the grandchildren gathered for one last walk through after loading the chariots in the house they called the Big House, shed a few tears and said,
Grandma, we will miss this home.
We will be back for vacations. And you don't have to pack everything and take it with you. You can leave a few items here.
They were all excited because in their minds they thought they weren't going to see this place again. Lady Kayla told them,
This is our home away from home. We will come occasionally to get out the land when the time calls for it.
Lord Gary and Aries helped load the rest of their belongings, and they all headed on their way. Lord Germaine and Lady Ashley rode off on Black Star, heading into the Land of Taroc. The family finally returned home to the Land of Taroc. Aries came in quietly, and so did the grandchildren. No one in the Land of Taroc knew of the children's existence. All Aries, they unloaded and unpacked everything, and Lord Gary and Lord Germaine called for a town's meeting, alerting everyone to meet in the town hall to give them the latest news. Lady Ashley first wanted to share with everyone that there was good news that they all wanted to share.
I am a proud grandmother of 12.
Along with Lady Kayla, Lord Germaine and Lord Gary. Lord Germaine said,
I want to apologize to the town by first withholding information about the death of Aries and have you all believed he had been killed.
All the townspeople were shocked, but also relieved that Aries was still alive. But they all wonder why they waited 5 years to come forward with this information. Lord Gary replied,
We wanted to protect all of you without bringing harm to the innocent and with our family being targeted. We all knew that everyone would feel much safer knowing that the threat was neutralized. So we put a plan in place. If the enemy knew or thought they had gotten their way, they would leave our family alone, but because we were still found, we couldn't hide anymore. We have a town to protect too.
Lady Ashley said,
We started this land. We are the protectors of this land, and we will not be forced out of it because of our gifts. We will now use our gifts to serve and protect this land, as we were always intended to do.
Aries will resume his duties, and so will the rest of the town. The town was happy and cheered and suggested that Lady Ashley, Lord Germaine, Lord Gary, and Lady Kayla should be stoned in the land as the protectors, as the guardians of the land. Everyone agreed, and there was a ceremony in honor of the chosen ones, the guardians, the protectors of the land. The townspeople felt safe again, and also happy to have their emperor back. They were excited to see what the next chapter would bring, and so were the guardians of the land.
Check out a few scenes from Series 4, the Epic Series, Revenge on the Guardians.
I know this can't be right. I don't know to go.
Stay still.